You're more concentrated on your background versus your value. Get ready to say goodbye to the biggest content mistake so you don't have to be like those other people that get super frustrated with content that they literally just stop creating content. Has that been you? I hope it hasn't, but if it has, stick around so you can say goodbye to feeling that frustration. Let's get started. The number one mistake is that people focus on the little things and not what brings results. So what happens? You're putting all your attention on these little tiny details, but you're not really putting your attention on what's going to make the difference. So of course, you're not going to see results. And then of course, you're going to get frustrated. And then of course, you're going to stop creating content. So what can you do? Focus on what truly matters. Your value, what you're putting inside, and the journey that you're taking your viewers through. If you're not sure on what truly matters, then go ahead and watch the series from beginning to end. We're starting with the top priority and going all the way through. So what truly matters? Why is content so powerful? What should you focus on, your brand or the metrics? All those things that I did are in a certain order because it's really what you should concentrate on from beginning, and then you add on little things like equipment, like the content tips that I shared in the last video, okay? Those are the steps that you want to make sure that you're going through. Okay, next, second biggest mistake is that you didn't plan ahead. So you didn't even research what you were talking about. And honestly, that's a whole nother subject, but you need to make sure that you're planning and researching so you're not creating your video just for your friends and families and the crickets that are landing on it. You want to make sure that you're grabbing and getting to the majority of people. Trust me. When I have done videos that I didn't research just because I was like, nah, this one I'm not gonna research, they haven't performed as well as when I sat down, researched, knew exactly how to format it, how to word it, exactly in what ways people were looking for it, and then I sat down to record it. It makes a big difference. Now, I'm gonna touch on a subject that I know a lot of you don't wanna hear, but I'm gonna go for it. You need to also be making sure that you're not creating content just for a platform where it's gonna live for a couple hours and bye-bye. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's right. Each platform is different, and no matter what platform you create content for, they each perform in a different manner. If we compare the basics, Instagram versus YouTube, on Instagram you basically post something, and unless it gets picked up by a viral hashtag, it's basically dug down by other new posts. It's normal, okay? Now, if we talk about YouTube, well, even if you post a video from 7 years ago, there is a chance that on somebody's desktop, it can be showing up on their home screen. Why does this happen and how does this happen? Why? Because YouTube is a different type of platform and it works with a different algorithm. How does this happen? Well, if the person does the video correctly with searchability, keywords, and all those different aspects, then they can make sure that that video always shows up on the home page. If you want to know more about what I'm talking about in terms of platforms and making your content live to the fullest, get its longest life out of it, definitely watch the free content workshop. I'll explain exactly what my content strategy is, on why I focus on different platforms depending on the different content, so I can squeeze the juice out of what I'm spending time creating. Because think about it, you create a really funny reel, which yes, of course it's funny and it's captivating, but you know what? It took you about 2 to 3 hours. And then, yes, you posted it. Yes, it got some traction, but then it basically just got piled up by all the other Instagram reels. You definitely don't want to be spending all that time creating one reel when you can be creating one video that you divide into more than 10 different formats. So all of that is inside the workshop, so don't miss out on learning that strategy. Now, if you're thinking, Laura, but I don't do any of those mistakes that you mentioned at the top. I do research, I create content, I do it the right way, I do it for the right platform, but I'm still just not seeing the results and the goal that I want. Well, have you thought about changing your content up? Most of the times when I do audits, I realize that people, they stick to one thing. They don't like changing things up. For example, if you always do live videos, change it up, do a recorded video. If you always record on one spot with one background, change it up, try a different color, try a different location. Change the style of your videos. There are different things that you can do automatically, still staying in whatever value you're providing, but it does help to start changing it up so that one, your audience doesn't get used to it. Two, you test new things out. If you've followed me along my YouTube journey, you know that I'm always testing out new things. And that way, when I find something that works, I put it into action and I share it with you. Along with changing it up, we fall on the topic that we discussed in this video right here, evergreen versus trending. So maybe your content is always evergreen. It's that content that builds a brand. It's that content that's deep in value, but you haven't played around with trending topics that can really help you spike all the way up. So play around with those different things. Inside that video, I explain exactly what my strategy is so that you're not only focusing on one or the other, but you're using both in order to see the goal that you want. In addition to that, I have to add that a lot of times when I see different channels or people starting off and them just not seeing the traction and then basically quitting, it's because they're also not self-promoting their videos. You have to share it with the people you know, and you also have to share it out to the different platforms. There are so many ways to get your video out there for free, and that's why in this video, I already shared how it's done, so I'm not gonna share it again here, but there are over 7 ways that you can promote your video for free, and a lot of times, people aren't promoting them. So it's like you're creating something, you're not even showing it off. Well, of course, you're not getting the results you want. That's already a huge mistake. If you create something, you should want to show it off, all right? So make sure that you're promoting. Watch that video. I know you're gonna love it. And we have 2 more to go. So another really big mistake, and this is where a lot of you might fall in, is that you're all over the place. So you started creating a video about cooking. Now you're creating a video about where you live. Then you're creating about something that you tried, a new product, when honestly, you have to stick to one topic, especially when you are starting out. If it's been a year or so, if you already have more consistency, then okay, play around with it, add in vlogs, add in whatever you want. But if you're starting out, stick to one topic, okay? So think about it this way. Imagine if Nike, you know, that big shoe company, imagine if their first shoe that they developed, they're like, okay, cool, you know, some people like our shoes, but what if we try making home appliances, right? We can also do that, why not? So it's different things. It's like, okay, come on, stick to one thing and then develop it. Nike now produces clothing, now produces sporting equipment, all that good stuff. But that was a later on. LG, which personally I love because it's also my initials, you know, that appliance company, well, now they produce a lot more things than they produced back then when they started. But that's because they created a solid ground and then they built up from there. So stop trying to be all over the place. Stick to one, grow, be consistent, and you'll see that then you can branch out to different things that you want to do. Your vlogs, your product reviews, this, that, travel videos, anything you want. But focus on building a tribe by being consistent on one topic first. If you know me, you know I save the best for last, and it's time to get a bit personal. The biggest mistake that I see that stops people from letting their content come to life, from letting it flourish into what they want it to be, is mindset. Mindset completely sabotaging whatever they want to do. They have an idea and then they think, but what are people going to think? Or, no, never mind, I can't do that because this, and this. You make up all kinds of excuses. Maybe you don't even realize it because it's your subconscious trying to protect you. And I honestly have so much to say about this subject because it is so powerful that I'm gonna dedicate a full video to it. So that video is coming up next. It's going to be incredible. everybody should watch it, because no matter what kind of content creator you are, new, beginner, expert, we've all had those moments where our mindset gets in the way. And it's important that we learn to push that little monster away. It doesn't belong here, and it cannot control our content that we're trying to put out and the dream that we are trying to build, whether for you it's a business, a lifestyle, whatever that may be. So you definitely do not want to miss out that video. Ring that bell, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, which honestly, why haven't you hit that subscribe button? I've given you so much value. And if you've been tuning into this entire series, I would honestly love to know what your experience has been. So just send me a quick little DM on Instagram at @TheLauraGomez, and I would love to say hello to you and hear a little more about what your experience has been, if you've learned, if you've loved it, or if you have something that you also want to see along in this content series. Don't forget to send me that DM, hit those buttons, and I'll see you right back here on the same channel for that mindset video. Bye-bye.